You are now listening to Talk Your Jits podcast.
Welcome back to the Talk Your Jits podcast. This podcast is, as the name implies, all about Jiu-Jitsu. I'm your host, Lamar Smith, and today's guest is a purple belt who trains at Gracie Barra Granby, located in Quebec, Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Laporte.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's an honor.
Man, pleasure is all mine, sir. How is it going today?
It's going good. I just finished the week's work, and I'm ready for the weekend. So it's going good.
I know, right? All right, well, let's get the ball rolling, man. If you want to formally introduce yourself again, by all means, and let's hear your jiu-jitsu journey.
All right. So my name is Jimmy Laporte. I am a purple belt under Eric Laporte at Gracie Barra Granby. And I'm currently preparing to start competing again, and training's going great, man. And yeah.
So how'd you get started in jiu-jitsu?
Okay, so I started in MMA actually first, and I started in 2007 because I was watching a lot of MMA. Pride was my first MMA organization, then UFC and all that, and I was really getting addicted and all that to watching all that. So I said, hey, I might as well try MMA. So then I tried MMA, and I really always, the part I liked the most about the MMA was the grappling aspect. Mm-hmm. So I did MMA for about 3 years. Then I took a long break because other things came up and all that. And I restarted doing jiu-jitsu when my professor and cousin Eric wrote to me and says, hey, I do jiu-jitsu. And maybe you should come try. And I'm like, well, geez, it makes a long time. I haven't done some, so I might as well, go and join you. And then, it's since 2016 I'm back on and off. Now I'm back consistently, but I got back into the sport.
Nice. Yeah, so we had Eric on the first. While I'm looking at it, the first season we had your cousin on here. That was back in 2022. So yeah,
that's cool.
Good guy.
Yeah, he's a real good guy. And so when I started back in 2016 with him, I was in my head, I was like, well, I did MMA and that, and the jiu-jitsu aspect is easy and everything, because you're doing MMA, you're doing the wrestling and everything. So you think, I was doing low level jiu-jitsu back then, not levels like now. So I said, well, this should go pretty good. So basically, I pretty much cleaned the floor. He cleaned the floor with me pretty much, used me as a mop. So then I got hooked again. And then the first session, I remember I was getting back in shape, and I almost got sick and everything. I was like, holy crap. Okay, this is real jiu-jitsu. So then I got really hooked. Then it was started.
Nice. Now, with your cousin being your instructor, do he give you gripe when you're out and about, or if you guys are just hanging out or talking?
Oh, he's always on my back. He's nicer with other people than he is with me. Let's say we're constantly trash talking, and we go hard. We go hard, me and him. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it got to be something, right? You're not only your family, but he's your instructor too.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, when we started out, at first he was just doing it on the side of it, and back then he was a blue belt, and I was a white belt and a real white belt, so I was spazzy and everything. And he started instructing me. Then eventually we had another coach come in that was a brown belt, and I was under him. I won't mention the name because a couple things happened in that, but that's past stories. But so I was training with my cousin Eric back in the day after he started instructing me and all that. So I trained under a couple other instructors. Then when I restarted jiu-jitsu, that's 2.5 years ago. then Eric took pretty much control of my journey. So he helped me immensely to become who I am today, to be honest, with like my technique wise and changing the white belt mentality and not trying to win every roll and all that. So that's pretty much how it went with for the instruction part. But for sure when we're going, we're going. That's for sure. And it's different because you don't want like the family favors, you know. So
Yeah, awkward conversation at the dinner table, right?
yeah, exactly.
So when did you realize you were like hooked? Like, okay, yeah, this is something I can see myself doing for a long time.
Well, my jiu-jitsu journey, I can basically separate it into two parts, and we'll get into that a bit later. But I would say maybe mid blue belt, like mid blue belt. I really like when I really started improving and like really getting like the techniques down more and not getting hurt as much, and just like when everything starts, you know, to flow and to click. And then that's when I started to really get hooked. And now I'm really hooked. Like my wife tells me all the time, like you're always doing jujitsu. Well, yeah. Well, you're doing school, so so I gotta do
Right.
jujitsu, you know. Yeah,
What is there else to do, right?
that's it. Well, you can do some housework. Yeah, so I bought a robot vacuum, so I do more jujitsu, you know. So pretty
Right.
much at the mid blue belt, I really got really hooked. I already liked it a lot. Like as soon as I started, I liked it, but now I'm obsessed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely grabbed me probably around that same time. I think I was like a I'm gonna say second degree, 2-stripe blue belt is when I was like, all right, I can see myself doing this for a while. I'm
Oh,
okay with that.
that's cool, man. And that's what happens. And then it's like it becomes like your routine, you know, and your go to, you know. Like for me, it's my medication, you know. It's
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah, oh, it's amazing. I love it.
yeah. I can still remember the day I was covering a class for my instructor and got to the school. I was getting ready to open up and he called me and he's like, "Yeah, you at the school?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here." He's like, "Okay, good, because I got something for you in your locker." I'm like, "All right, whatever." I mean, no, not thinking nothing much of it. But when I opened my locker, he gave me my red tab on my blue belt. So he's like, "Yeah, I can't have you being an instructor without it." So I was like, "Oh, all right, I'm here. It's real." So,
That's awesome. Yeah, see, I didn't, I never. That's when it's red when you're an instructor and white when you compete. And if I'm right,
you said what?
the tab is it's red if you instruct, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and white if you compete. Could it be?
Yeah, I think it just means that you're a black belt, but you're more of a student versus an instructor. Yeah, like you
Okay,
compete more
perfect.
than
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Oh, that's awesome though. So do you still do classes often? You instruct a lot, or
Yeah, man. Fast forward to now, me and one of my training partners, we opened up our own school. So we still at it, man. We still going.
oh, that's awesome, man. I wish you a lot of success with that. That's really cool, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, man, gotta keep it going, man. It's something I want to do for the rest of my life. So it is one of those things where it's like I can't live without it and I refuse to go without it.
Well, that's how you have success. If you have passion and you instill it within your students and all that, that's when it really starts to stick. You know, that's
Yeah,
how you, and that's when you get success in life. You know, if you put the passion in the work and everything, it always pays off.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think I had one of these like proud moments. We were last week we had went to our instructor who is Master Joe Moera. he did a seminar here, and we were telling people like, hey, we're not having class Wednesday, and then everybody's face just dropped. Like, we're not doing what? Like, yeah, we're not having class. We're going to a seminar. You guys are welcome to come. Blah blah blah. Blah. But they were like, what do you mean we don't have class on Wednesday? But I was like, I know. I was like, I get it, but the parents got to go out and play sometimes. We can't, we need a break from the kids now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, dad got to have a life too, but
yeah, that's for sure. That's really cool.
Now, do you compete or anything, or are you just kind of doing it for like the hobby side of it?
Okay, so I restarted competing. I did my first competition since white belt almost a month ago.
Okay.
And I really got hooked to the adrenaline and all that. So I'll definitely be competing a lot in the next years. And I'm aiming for I'd like to be like ADCC Open Trials level athlete. Just that's my goal at the moment. So to get there and not look like outclassed, look like I belong on those mats. So that's my goal at the moment. So yes, so for sure I'm going to be competing a lot. The first competition back, for sure there was a lot of nerves involved. I won't lie.
I bet, man.
Man. And it's because the first time I competed was like 6 years ago, and the level has improved and it's evolved so much. So I was looking at just like the white belt bracket at first, and I was looking, and I was like, holy, like if this ain't the same white belt levels when I was white belt, that's just in 6 years. And then I was looking at the brackets go along, and my bracket got pushed back. I was supposed to compete around 1:00, 1 p.m., and I ended up competing at 6:30. So you had time to think. So I was getting real stressed, getting that forearm pump going too. When I was doing my fights there, but it went really good. So I got silver. I'm happy with it. Things improved, but for sure, my main goal is to compete at the moment.
Man,
for sure. That aspect, I've always loved competing in every sport I did. So that's a very important aspect for me.
Nice. Yeah, it's a different beast, man. Competing, and I can only imagine the nerves of not competing for so long, and then getting back out there to just hop on the mats against other practitioners. So
sure. For sure. And I have like a tradition that if I inscribe myself, and let's say I don't know if you guys work in kilos or I'm in pounds because we're in Canada here. But let's say I inscribe myself at 188 pounds. I'm always like 10 pounds under when I weigh myself. So I don't know why I've been doing that. I think I should change my scale maybe, because when you compete with them big boys, it shows, man.
Oh yeah. I remember one of the tournaments I did. I was a lot bigger than I was, so I was like in the super heavy, because I think after 240 is like super heavyweight.
Oh damn! Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this again. No.
There's some strong boys out there, man.
Man, I'm telling you, like I'm like the way I got he hip tossed me. It felt like I was just light as a feather.
I love that feeling. Ain't that the best feeling when your legs come off and you're like, okay, this is gonna suck.
It's like everything slows down in that moment. It's like, how did I get here?
Why
am I upside down?
Why am I doing this?
Like I'm fighting whoever convinced me to do this. This is not what I'm trying to do for it.
Yeah, and then you're like, it's actually myself that convinced myself, so it's all on me,
Right. But yeah, I got tossed, and he had me in like side control, and I'm fighting to get my arms in, and it felt like I was just pushing like a mountain, dude. Like, he was just so strong. And I'm sitting there like, hey, can I ask you a question? He's like, what? I was like, man, what did they feed you at your gym, man? You're just too strong, bro. But yeah, I gotta have fun with it. But yeah, I'm supposed to be competing next week at Grappling Industry. I've been kind of like on the fence about it, because I've been training, but not as active as I need to be.
Yeah, for like the gas tank and everything, and
Yeah,
like getting it like the volume. Okay, well, go for it. I mean, you sometimes would be surprised on those mats. Could go really good.
that too. I mean, I got time to think about it. It's next. It's Saturday, so I'm already signed up. If I decide to go, I'm gonna give it my all, regardless of what.
Oh, for sure. Got to
Yeah,
represent.
because this would
Oh,
be the first time competing at Black. So it's like I want to make sure that my head's there and everything is good.
okay, yeah, okay, so it's your that's a big step up. That's for sure. But man, if you dip your toes in the water, sometimes be surprised, man. It might go really good.
Oh yeah, it's gonna go good regardless of the outcome. I love the sport. I love rolling. So it's just another day in the office. It's like a big open mat, pretty much to me.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's what's the difference? And to be honest, like an open mat that you go and let's say you're going at another gym or something or a comp, not really much when you think about it because you're rolling with new people. That's it.
Yeah. I mean,
So
only thing I dread is the fact that I'm doing gi and no gi, so I'm gonna be there all day.
yeah, got to bring those carbs. Get some fuel in
Man, I'm
there.
telling you. I'm telling you. Because the first one I did that was both gi and no gi. They always tell you show up early, so I'm there at like 8 o'clock. First match didn't go on to like maybe like 12, 1 o'clock. And then my no gi match was like around that time, and then my gi match was like in the late afternoon, like 4 or 5 o'clock.
Oh man, yeah,
So
that's bad.
I was done. I was like, I can't do this.
it's it's one of the hardest things of the whole competition for me was planning out like the new. Well, I'm a strength and conditioning coach and I do nutrition and all that. So I'm trying to be perfect, but it's impossible
Right.
at these competitions. So I'm trying to fuel like and get some electrolytes in and a bit of like light food because the weight is done. It's made the weight. I'm trying to get all this in, but then you're working with like the stress. So the belly, you don't want like
Yeah.
the belly to get upset and everything. So that's was probably the hardest part of the whole competition for me was getting all that packed down. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite the game, man.
I really wish they did gi on one day and no gi on another day, or do like the kids division one day and then adults division on the other day, because that's what takes up most of the time is that big kids division.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that does take up a lot, and there's so many.
So so
Holds up. Yeah,
all right, now we're back. We're back.
perfect.
Sorry about that. I had to change the battery. So we're talking about just the length of the weight of tournaments.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It could be hectic for sure. Could be hectic, especially if you're somebody like me. I, like my in the week I have a routine and I like following that routine. So my food, my nutrition, and everything, it's all planned out. Then you get there and it's getting pushed back and it throws you off a bit. So you have to work
Yeah.
on that. Can't be so perfect in competitions.
It's impossible. I even seen at one instance a guy that I competed against. He's a black belt. Well, he just got his black belt last year, I think. But he was in the middle of his match when they called him over to another match.
So they DQ'd him
So
or
yeah, he got DQ'd.
what the?
Like he's in the middle of his absolute match with this big guy on top of him, and he hears his name and he's telling the ref like, "Hey, yo, they're calling me over there. Can you let them know that I'm in the middle of a match?" But yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. But
Uh,
that's the risk you kind of have when it comes to competing at black belt at these smaller events, because not a lot of black belts are there.
no,
So he did gi no gi and absolute. So he was just like, yeah, this is the only way I can get matches in if I do multiple multiple divisions.
Yeah, for sure.
But you run that risk of your name being called while you're fighting somewhere else.
That's crazy. Like you slap on the choke and you have your shorts under your gi, and you switch it up.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, that's how you do it, man.
I keep it up,
don't have
to. You say what?
They don't have to go the distance, I'll just finish it right now. It's that easy. No.
Yeah, we don't need the whole 5 minutes. Let me just go ahead and get this out in 35 seconds and keep it moving. I got another match to do.
That's it. Like I've just been playing since before, now it's time. It'd be fun if it'd be like that. That's probably how it's like Gordon Ryan feels when he's doing jiu-jitsu sometimes. It's like, okay, it's enough. I'm done playing with my meal. And then finish it right now.
I know, right? I can't wait to get to that level.
Oh, for sure.
I would love to get there. I would love to get to the level without the, the enhancements, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's some good horse meat he's eating,
I know, right?
But they do all put in the work though, but it's for sure helps.
Yeah.
For sure helps, but no, if you attain a level that like is on par with like the elite levels, for sure it's got to be a great feeling, It's good. It's got to be fun. Or they don't feel it and they're just like, yeah, well, I'm not the best yet, and it's always a constant chase, for that perfect level of technique and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
But like when you, I'd be curious about that. Like, people like, Gordon Ryan and Nicky Rod and all those other people. Like when you reach that level, man, like what do you shoot for next?
I think total domination. Like, to be honest, like, well, Nicky Rod, like at first, like he's a beast for sure. He's a beast, but people I think were caught off guard with style in that. So recently, I find, and I'm not, I like Nicky Rod's a machine, but his recent matches, he's been getting caught up in guards in that a lot. Like against Victor Hugo, Victor's got a crazy half guard and everything, but he wasn't getting out. So like if I was like Nicky Rod must be shooting like I gotta pass these guards, But somebody like Gordon, I don't know what he shoots for, man. He's on another level.
Yeah, for like sure. Him and like Mikey Moose Mechie. Like you're dominant in your in one right now. Like what do you do next, man? Like no one can stop you.
No, I for sure in his case it's hard because I don't see you can always get tapped. I mean it's it's a quick sport. But I don't see nobody dominating him in a while.
No.
Like I don't see nobody at that weight class really coming even close to dominating him. Like I don't know, for people like that, I guess maybe the money. I guess a bit of money can always help. I'll do these matches and just keep smashing people, make a couple G's. For sure.
It sounds like a good career choice to me.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that anyway. I'll even get smashed for the money, man. Come on.
Man, I'm telling you, I'll put on a show. I'll put on a good show. I'll even take a dive. Just out. Let's make it look good. Make it like I almost got you, and then
Yeah, man. Then like you slap the heel hook on. I'm like, oh no. Yeah. No, for sure, but. Go for it. Sorry.
No, I was about to say, like, you just whisper to him, like, okay, go for your heel hook now.
Yeah, go. The guy's like, well, it's because there's no way you're getting out. You're in backside 50, so it's for sure I'm going for it. Come on, man.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's still a very young sport, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I find we're seeing a bit of a switch a bit, and I watch mostly no gi. When I watch gi, I get lost because there's so many guards and techniques in that. And but no, I find no gi there's way better stand up than there used to be. Personally, I find And the game is more, I find, more positional than it used to be, like maybe 5-6 years ago, in my opinion. So I think there's a big switch in that too. It's constantly evolving, man. So you never know. Maybe Gordon, if he comes to ADCC and his health's going good, might be this new dude that nobody knows and has a totally different style. Might give him a run for his money or something. But then it'll give him something to do.
Yeah.
You never
I
know.
mean, because I know it has to be lonely at the top sometimes, where like whoever you're gonna go against, you're just gonna wash them. Wash them with ease.
But I couldn't even name 5 people in Nogi that can do that right now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, like one of my favorite right now is Marigali. He's doing amazing, I find. But even him, like if he could, like ADCC, he's gonna have work to do, for sure. He's gonna have a lot of work, but he's doing really good though. Like he tapped out Penna and everything. But him is one of my favorites at the moment. But he's not on like the domination level of Gordon yet. So that'd be curious. I'm anxious to see that.
Yeah, I always get excited for like ADCC and whatnot when they come around, even though it's so expensive. But
Okay, so you're going?
No, not going, but like when watching it, I would love to go. But just watching it on it's not on Fight Pass, but I know they have their own like streaming service for ADCC. So
yeah. I think they're on Flow, huh?
Yeah, Flow Grappling. That's what it is.
Flow,
Grappling.
Yeah, Flow. Yeah, and then you have to buy the membership and all that.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, do I have $100 to watch this?
I don't know. There's a couple tricks there.
I know, right?
Yeah, you have a password for me?
Yeah, I know, right? I was just want to say, grab a couple guys and pull it together. Like, man, we gotta, we all gotta share this account.
Yeah, for sure. Like, hey, we're on the same screen. Come on.
I know, right? We can all just meet up. We can watch the fights together and have a good time. And
for sure. So you do? Are you into a bit of strength and conditioning with your jiu-jitsu and all that, or
technical difficulties again? But I'm sorry. What was your question?
Yeah. So what like your training schedule? What's it look like? Do you do some strength and conditioning with your jiu-jitsu, yoga, or just jiu-jitsu, or what's your schedule look like?
Crazy. Like I finally got to like getting back into the gym and whatnot. So like right now I've been going to the gym in the mornings. Then I train 3 days a week. I do jiu-jitsu Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. I do kickboxing Mondays and Wednesdays. And I try to do like yoga in between, some strength and conditioning stuff too. So
okay, so you're hitting like it from all aspects. So that's perfect. Okay, that's good. Oh, that's good. And because not many people. Well, it's changing a bit, because when I started jiu-jitsu, everybody was telling me, like, because I've always been training. I love training. I love doing strength and conditioning. I always have loved that. And people were telling me, well, strength is useless and that old mentality. But I don't believe in that at all. Personally, that I find that's one of probably the stupidest things I've ever heard in a fight sport. Because
I know, right?
There ain't nobody in MMA gonna tell you that. Like, if dude has a better endurance than you and is as technical as you, he's gonna whoop you. So it's good. You have to hit it. And jiu-jitsu's evolving too. So like the methods and all that. I think in the next years, this sport is really going to evolve for the training methods too. Because I see a bunch of videos on the Instagram and everything. I'm like, damn, what are you doing? What are you doing for jiu-jitsu? Yeah, for sure. Okay, well that's good.
And that's where I've gotten to, man. Like once I hit black belt, I was just kind of like, I took some time to myself to like really, really think. And I was like, man, what do I want to get out of jiu-jitsu? Like, I love training, but it's like, I always felt like there was something missing.
Okay.
So it was like, I was like, well, and like, now just was thinking, I was like, man, I guess I got to the point where I love being active.
Okay.
So it's like, all right, if I can't do jujitsu all day, I gotta find something else to do. So I was like, all right, the school that we partnered with, they have like kickboxing. So I was like, all right, well, we're doing kickboxing. We're doing kickboxing for 2 hours, and then we do jujitsu. And then I was like, oh, I'm usually up around 5-6 in the morning. Let's go to the gym. So that's just kind of
Nice schedule, man.
yeah, man, that's been my schedule for like the last couple weeks, man. I've been really trying to push the pace. Cause like I said, I do want to compete a lot more than I did last year, and I think it's time for me to really start doing this so I can really see where my game is and just build from there.
Oh, for sure. And if you get that schedule down and you're consistent and you build like you can call it a body armor. Your training is, I mean, it was an old mentality that, if you get stronger, you gain some muscle mass, you're gonna be less good at your sport. But that's been proven it's not true no more. So let's say you like get like your better stability in your joints, pack on a bit of muscle, get stronger and everything. Well, you're gonna increase your longevity, for your jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So it's important. It's the aspect that a lot of people neglect, and it's a very important aspect in my opinion. Because when you think about it, I see like people. Let's say you get a full mount on me, and I'm trying to push you out, but I can't even do like 5 push-ups, and now I'm pushing like 240. there's like a mathematical equation that's not working right there in my opinion.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I was
But
like,
even go for it. Sorry.
no, I was just about to say, like, I agree with what you're saying. Like, they're saying like strength does not necessarily work in jujitsu. Yeah, say that when you got a 200 plus guys, laying on your chest.
Yeah, dude. Like I know that like you got all the instructionals and the moves. They're nice, the moves, but like you weigh 120 and you got no muscle. I mean, come on. There's a limit. But even sometimes I can get out of some that. Like my cousin is a bigger dude than me, but let's say if we're doing a big roll, I can get out of some things that I shouldn't be able to get out because I'm like using a bit of elbow grease on the move. I got some power going on.
Right.
Yeah, it's important. It's very important, and that's one of the aspects. I'm a certified coach, so I know a bit about it, and I really love to improve like performance and all that. So I'm like calculating my performance all the time and my watts on the eco bike and everything. Okay, I got a 7% increase in 3 months, and then but I'm not. It's not taking though. The thing that I really improved is at first I was pushing that envelope a bit too much.
Mm-hmm.
And what's important is the balance, So it's got to be like let's say it's a pizza. Well, it's a topping on your pizza, and your pizza is the jujitsu. So it's got to not replace the jujitsu. So if you're going 5 times per week strength and conditioning, and you're going jujitsu 2 times, let's say your schedule would work. Well, you're better off doing the opposite if you want to get better at the sport. But at first I was more like, strength and conditioning, man, get that 6-pack going. Like, but it's changed for sure.
Yeah. I gotta find that happy balance.
For sure. For sure. Because that was one thing that happened to me that like I was talking about to be in a podcast. When I started out jiu-jitsu, when I was about to get my blue belt with the Eder Academy, well, I had a serious injury that happened to me, and I was here's how you see that sometimes when you're mentally a bit too tough for your own good. I was at the gym and I'm like, got this crazy pump going on this right arm, and it was really big. I was like, what the hell? Like I didn't change nothing, my supplements or nothing. It's like, okay, so I pushed through it, and that arm keep getting bigger. So then I'm like, that's really weird. But anyway, screw it. So I trained 2 weeks with that arm getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm like, God, like at one point, I'm like, damn, this is just fucked up, you know? I'm so I'm at the gym one day in the morning and it hurts and it really hurts. But I'm like, stop being, step up your game. So I actually PR'd on my strict press that day. So I did it, but my personal record on the strict press, I'm like, that is stop, no excuses. Next day I'm in the hospital and it ends up I did a blood clot. I had a blood clot. So I spent a week in intensive care unit and everything after that.
Oh
And then
no.
then that was a really hard patch though. So I get the
Yeah.
blood pump and everything, and the doctor says, the specialist says you can never train again, you can never do jujitsu again, and you can't work physically. And my job is physical, and you can't do all that again. So I'm freaking out, because I'm like, well, what am I going to do? But you're listening to the
Right.
doctor, because the doctor knows. So after a couple months of like sick leave and that, I'm contemplating all that. And I said, well, look, I'm going to start doing cardio and that. And I hate running. Like I'm not made for running, dude. I get mad when I run. Like I get aggressive. Screw this. So I say, this ain't working. So I said, I'm going to start, I'm going to call up the specialist in that. And she says, no, you can't train then that. So I'm kind of like, what am I going to do? I mean, that's my life. I've always been, I played football. I've done MMA. I've done every sport you can think of. Like this can't be. So I'm thinking about, and I'm putting I'm counting the, the reasons why I would go back, why I wouldn't. Then at one point I said, you know what? If I go out, I'm going to go out on my shield, man. So I restart training slowly. And I remember I got back on the bench press, and I'm not strong at bench press really either, but I was like around maybe 335 on the bench. And when I got back, I was 95 pounds. I got stuck under the bar. I was like, oh my God, what the? I'm going crazy now. But then I restructured how I trained a lot, and I worked a lot on mobility, and I worked a lot on keeping the body healthy and everything. And I said, well, look, if something happens, at least we'll all die. All die happy.
Yeah. Down with do what you love, right?
Exactly. So I started by doing just training. I used to do more bodybuilding and that. Back then I didn't know as much what I was doing now. I used to like go for the pump and I can move my pecs, man. That's awesome. No. So I'm going for like the pump and everything. And then I started changing mentality and I got into CrossFit. So that is that's another sport. I had a lot of fun with it, but it's very dangerous, CrossFit. Like it's very high intensity. It's I would never mix that if I'd be doing jujitsu at the same time. Personally, if you want to be serious in jujitsu, it's too much volume. You can have a couple CrossFit-ish wads. It can work, but you got to be smart. But I did learn a lot with the fundamentals and how to program for strength and all that. So then once I got sick of CrossFit because, I'm full. When it comes to problems, I'm fully equipped. So I was doing, I don't know if you know what Olympic lifts are a bit.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's like it's heavy ass lifts that are really bad for your body if done improperly. So and CrossFit they time it. So you're like, hey, you gotta lift this bar, it's 225, let's say, 30 times really fast. I'm doing a move that's called a snatch. So I got like the hands overhead and that, and I let the bar down and I catch it on my neck. But the disc it popped. So I screwed up my neck. So now my neck, a herniated disc. I got my nerves, or even now to this day, my nerves in my right arm, my first fingers, I can't feel my two fingers. So I got like some strong grips. I'm like, I don't know, well, that's cool. But so I ended up quitting all that, but just train smartly. But I'm getting bored because it's not intense enough. So then I'm like, and then I was like going like in another phase. And then my cousin Eric wrote up, hey, well, why don't you come back to jujitsu? But I'll be honest, I was scared because of the blood clot. Like let's say you get me in an arm triangle or something, or some weird paper cutter or whatever, and your arm is stuck up. Well, like that move could be dangerous for me theoretically. But then then eventually he said, well, look, just come try. And that's hey, well, what do I have to lose? So I came and tried, and then fast forward 2.5 years later, I'm back and no issues and everything's going great. So, sometimes So sometimes you gotta not quit. I know it's dangerous, but on my behalf, maybe. But I mean, what you got to be happy. So I found my balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just reminds me, like a couple months back, I had surgery. I had my appendix and gallbladder removed,
Oh, geez.
and so I'm laying there before the surgery. They were telling me that I had to have it. I was like heavy in the training. I was heavy at the gym, and then after a while, I just started getting like these real bad pains in my stomach to the point where I was like in the middle of my bed in a ball. So
Gee.
end up going to the hospital, and then it was like, yeah, it might be your appendix. And then the surgeon was like, it's your appendix and your gallbladder. So they both got to be removed.
Damn.
So so the team is like, they walking in and they're telling me like, okay, they have to do this, do that, and then they give you like the precautionary stuff, like, no heavy lifting, no this, no that, no this, no that. So they say, so they're like, so what do you do for work? I was like, I'm a martial arts instructor, and the whole room goes quiet. It's like, so you definitely can't do that. I'm like, I know, I know that was obviously, I know I couldn't do that, but man, I think I was off the mats for like maybe like 2 weeks, and that was the longest 2 weeks I've ever been through.
Well, that's it. It's you got the goals going, and you're addicted. So it's like,
Yeah.
gee, no, that's health is important. I mean, the less often in the hospital, the better, for sure.
For sure. Yeah, that was like my first surgery ever, major surgery in general. So it was just like, all right, this is okay.
That's stressful. That's even more stressful than the competitions, to be honest.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But yeah, I survived the 2 weeks, and then I went back to the doctor. They said, well, you can go back to the gym, but you can't do any lifting. And I was like, that's kind of what jiu-jitsu is. I got to get big people off me. But yeah, after like 3 weeks, I was cleared, and I've been going hard ever since. Or
That's
trying to
good.
like stay consistent
You
ever
healed
since.
up good.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome though, because sometimes it can be a bit longer now. That's cool, but see, when you think about it, like, let's say you were you were off like 2 weeks, and look at like the impact it had on you, and that's when you realize how important people who do martial arts, and that how it's not just an activity. It really is. Well, I believe it's a part of you. It's your lifestyle, and it really is like my zen. It's your zen spot. You're like, it's where you equalize everything. So it's a privilege that we got to be able to do this, for sure.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate that I've been able to do this for so long. Well, long to some people. It's been almost 7 years I've been doing jiu-jitsu, and that 2 weeks, I think, was like, nope. The longest I took off was because of COVID, but that was out of my control. But that was a pain in itself, man. Dealing with COVID and training. So,
dude, I don't know how it was. Are you from Detroit?
yeah.
Like, I don't know how it was in Detroit, but I don't know if you heard a bit about Canada and Quebec. That's some special. That's some special stuff, man. I mean, we had a curfew put in at one point, and
Wow.
yeah, that's crazy. That's some crazy stuff. And you weren't allowed going out. I think it was 8 o'clock, unless you had a dog. Then you were allowed going out. So a bunch of people bought dogs just to be able to go out on that. And I'm like, this can't be true. I can't be living in this. It's insane. It was probably one in North America, definitely probably one of the worst spots, for sure. For sure.
It was a bit messy because people didn't believe it, and then people didn't want to wear their mask. I was just like, if I was like, if this is something we have to do to get back to normal life, then so be it. But those couple months, it was just like weird because it was just around the time I was about to get my purple belt.
Oh crap!
So it was like me and my coach had the conversation because I was gonna compete, and he was like, "Well, when are you competing?" I was like, "Well, I'm competing in blah blah blah." He's like, "Because we got some things to take care of." So I was like, "Oh," and then boom, we had to shut down. So
Yeah.
then we shut down for like 3 months or something of the sort like that. We no gathering of like large groups or whatever. And then when they lifted it, we went back to training. And then my instructor was like, "Hey, we got some stuff to take care of. You still want to compete? I mean, not compete, but you want to test for your purple belt." And in my mind, I'm running it back like, you haven't been training right, you haven't been eating right. It's been 3 months. You've gained weight, and plus, we just had our second child.
Oh damn!
Like we literally had our second. Like, so my daughter was born on the 7th. The day after she was born is when we had the shutdown.
Oh
So it's
man,
just like,
that's some timing on everything,
right,
you know?
right. So it was like new baby, lack of sleep, bad eating habits and stuff like that. And then it was like, "You want to test for your purple belt?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." Dumbest idea in the world. Dumbest idea in the world. But
Yeah.
I persevered, I pushed through, and I died maybe like 3 times out there on the mats during my tests, but
You made it, man.
I made it. I made it out the other side alive. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's awesome though. That good job, man, on that too. And I don't have no kids, but I that's another aspect that it takes some time that too, you know. But it's good
yeah,
time, good time.
yeah.
Yeah, the during the well, I don't want to talk about it too much here, but during the COVID, then there is one thing that actually improved my jujitsu about that is I was only training with my cousin Eric, so it's like basically always privates, you know.
Yeah.
So I got really good, you know, because we were able to roll, but just me and him at first because we couldn't switch students and all that. Then we had to be in our own section and all that, in our own bubble. So
Yeah.
geez, I got really good from that. So I'm like, well, this ain't that bad, that part, you know. Then I can't even remember. I think we're almost 2 years. That's like constantly restrictions and everything. So it was. I definitely thought about moving. That's for sure. If it wasn't for the girlfriend, there'd probably be like in Texas or something, or Thailand or something, and not in that. That's for sure.
And I know. I was like, I need to go back to training. This is unacceptable. I need to go back to training, and I need to go now.
Oh, for sure.
But
And then like you because I mean, I set up like a home gym, so for that part, I was okay because I was like, I'm gonna get in the street. I'm gonna just go fight a dude with a mask. I don't care, you know. but when you're doing like jujitsu, like it's solo drills, they only go so far, you know. It gets boring quick. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I got a jujitsu dummy that I kind of like mess around with. But yeah, it only goes so far because I need to know I need the feedback. I need that, make sure that my technique is right. If but gotta do what you can, man.
Oh, for sure. Well, I tried a bit with my huskies, you know, but they're naughty, man. I'm not on that level yet, man. they, I tried bugging them a bit. They like it, I think.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but just gonna take me for a walk there and let go of me, man. Come on, man. Yeah,
I know, right?
this is my
Like,
house.
it was like I was even like, my wife, I was bugging her like, all right, just let me just rep some stuff with you, please. So I like, please, I need to do jujitsu, man. Like, I need a body. I need an able body, and you're the only person I have. Come on.
And how did that go?
she was it took some convincing. I'll put it like that way. It took some convincing.
Yeah, I've tried that kind of approach a couple times. It never ends up good. It never works out with the girlfriend. She's a bit she's not into grappling too much. It's a bit rougher there. Well, I'm not going blast double on her, you know.
Right.
Like, okay, let's do some wrestling.
Right. And like my wife, she trains off and on when she can, but I be trying to explain to her, like, I'm not gonna hurt you. Like, I just, like, enough to keep yourself protected. I just want to whirl. And she's like, no, you get so into it and blah blah blah. I'm like, I promise you, I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to roll.
Yeah, and then it's her that gets into like an inside ashy that starts reaping. Get that knee.
Yeah, I know, right? Like every single time, like we roll, and like she'll go, like I'll be in guard, and next she's grinding her elbows in the bend of my knee and cross facing me. I'm like, oh, but I'm the one that's supposed to be going easy, right?
Oh, dude, like when she says do the dishes, you do those dishes, man. There's gonna be some consequences for sure.
For real.
No, that's awesome, man.
I mean, it's one of the tightest chokes I've ever felt.
Oh, they really go in.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't care, man. And like you're tapping and it's slow and the release, like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna hold this a bit.
I know, but you can let go now.
It's like, no.
Just a couple more seconds. Just a couple more seconds. But.
Yeah, that's after like 35 seconds of you tapping.
And she has like the skinny arms, so it's like those would be the worst rear neck chokes you ever feel, like from a person with small arms, man.
Oh, the bone right on the carotid, man.
Right on the carotid. Terrible.
Like the chin defense don't work, just slides right in there.
Easily. And she'd be so surprised, like, oh, was that right? Like I'm gasping for air. I'm crying right now. Of course it worked.
No. That's how you see how effective it is, though. I mean, like I showed once I just showed an armbar to a friend of mine, and like the dude is really small, and like he cranks the armbar, and it's like, yeah, that's good, and like you sure? Well, yeah, you almost popped my elbow, dude. It's like, oh my, like how can that be? It's so effective.
So effective.
Are you? I'll go for it. Sorry. No, I'll go for it.
Oh, it's like I had a girl try out jiu-jitsu with her boyfriend, and he was kind of like, just kind of like roughhousing with her. And I told her, I was like, I promise you, I can teach you the tightest choke he would ever feel. And so, I'm showing her like the rear neck choke, and she's like going for it. I was like, no, this is what you do. I was like, when you lock it up, I was like, imagine you trying to pull your elbows behind you, and you take a deep breath and give him a hug like you miss him.
Dude.
So she was like, okay. So she goes for it. And I'm like, don't forget, take that deep breath and hug him like you miss him. And his eyes were like this big. And they both were looking at me like, I was like, yeah. I was like,
there you go, Oh no, that's it. And it's especially like you think it's tight, then she takes the big breath, and like, oh damn, that's awesome. Are you diving in a bit into the heel hooks and all that at your gym, or how's that going?
Yeah, we are. My training partner, he loves foot locks and leg locks and stuff like that. So it's something that I've been trying to learn myself a little bit more, because I do no-gi more than anything. So that's kind of like, a big staple when it comes to no-gi, learning leg locks and stuff like that. So we don't frown upon it. We try to embrace. We embrace it. We even teach kids leg locks.
Oh, that's perfect. Because we we played with it like maybe a couple months, and now we're really back into it because I really want to make it to the, like I was saying before, into ADCC. But you can't, like, if I go right now, I'm decent at leg locks, but I want to be ready, and it's it's complicated, like, because let's say, like, it's make 7 years you've been doing it, and you start like after 7 years and you never did leg locks, it's like I'm a white belt again,
Yeah.
And my game is probably going to be at the basis, I'm really into wrestling. I love wrestling a lot. Like, I like it. Like, I like big takedowns. I like it when it sucks when you're under me. That's my style. So the leg locks, my goal is going to be like you make it there the less often possible. But if you make it there and then I turn the wrong way and I screw up my own knee, that's what's been it's a big hole in my game right now. I gotta work on that for sure.
Yeah. There's been a couple of times I've been rolling with people at the gym, and I'm just kind of like playing around with the leg locks, and they'll try to snatch or just roll out. So I'm like, please don't do that. Please don't do that.
No, don't.
Like, please don't do that.
No.
Like, if you want to be able to walk out of here, please do not do that.
No, for sure. And that are risky. Well, like, it's for sure I'm French. Sometimes I look for French words there. If you put like the right elements into the class and that, and you explain to the people like don't do this and that, it can be pretty safe, I guess. But then if you get like into a heated roll, and this, like, let's say you hit a guy and he's like, I want to win this roll, and he snatches up a heel hook. Like, if somebody snatches one on me, like really aggressive, and it's not even a good technique, there's gonna be some the pressure is gonna be nasty after that. It's gonna be rough after that.
All right, we're back. Sorry, technical stuff, but we're good now. We should be good. Now, we were talking about those lovely leg locks. Now, what was you saying?
Oh yeah. So so currently what we're doing is we're tightening up the locks and that, but catch like not the locks, but like, let's say if I'm getting the ashi or something, I'm not letting it like loose like I was doing. Let's say, because at first I was like really loose on everything. I was creating loose technique. But what we are doing is creating, like, if I'm rolling against somebody, well, first of all, if I know that somebody don't know how to leg lock, I'm not going to do leg locks with them there. But let's say I'm rolling with somebody who knows how, well, we're going to do catch and release right now at the moment. So you just like place and release, because the injury at the moment, I'm not comfortable enough, like going, okay, we're going to do a battle right now, and start popping knees,
Yeah. I usually, when I do work leg locks, I'll grab it and I'll let that other person, especially if they don't know, I give them time to work out of it. But I'll tense up a little bit, like, you might want to address this. All right.
Yeah. You start tapping his knee with your finger, like, it's coming, man. Come on.
Right. Like, yeah, you keep letting me get this. I'm going to lock it in, but yeah, it's best to, like, when it comes to like any type of leg locks, wrist locks and stuff like that, when we teach it, we like the first thing we say is like, go slow. Like, take your time with these. Do not, if you don't force it because you don't want to injure yourself, you don't want to injure your training partner, because when it comes to like knee, wrist, joint, elbows, or anything like that, once you start feeling pain, it's typically too late. Something's already damaged.
For sure. And I mean, and it's because, like, let's say you're getting stuck in an arm bar. Well, you've been practicing that, for so long, and the joint is less complex than, let's say, a knee. The knee is it's because you don't feel it necessarily, Sometimes just loosening up those ligaments and all that, and then at one point pop, Yep. Yeah. That's what's been so that's been the main focus. Well, like the last few weeks and probably next month is going to be they're not going to be fun. Gonna be a lot of leg locks, a lot of wrestling. Well, that I like though, like getting like some good collar ties and clubbing heads, and I love that stuff. But
Yeah.
that's going to be our main focus probably in the next few months. Polish up those skills, and it's awesome. It's always something to learn, for sure.
Yeah. Sounds like a good time. Sounds like a good time for sure.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
All right, Jimmy, man, we got a question we ask everybody that comes on the show, man. Kind of became a staple of Talk Your Jits podcast. Past or present, the top 3 people you would love to get a chance to roll with.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Oh boy, and just jujitsu, right? Like even like let's say okay, let's say okay. So jujitsu, I'm not gonna go Gordon Ryan because he's too damn big. I mean, I'm like 5'7". I don't want none. I don't want none of that smoke. So, I would say I would really like to roll with Tainan Dalpra in no gi. Not gi. I mean, come on. You see that guy with a gi? No. But so no gi, I'd love to do. Tainan Dalpra for sure. I'd love to roll with him. Mika Galvao, I'd like to get thrown around.
Yeah.
And Pats. That's a good one. I'm guessing. I'd like probably Andre Galvao too. 2 Galvaos on my list. Andre Galvao.
Yeah, Andre has definitely been on this for a long time, a long time.
Oh yeah, he's in my favorites for sure. A great character and a beast. And if I can add a 4th one, but it might be a bit different. It wouldn't be jujitsu though, but Jordan Burroughs in wrestling. I would love to see what that like a extremely high level wrestler is. I'd love to feel that. I'd love to feel that, man.
That's just as worse as Gordon, man.
Oh yeah. But I mean, at least he's like 170-ish, 180. So.
Right. So I got a fighting chance.
Oh, there's no way I can do anything, but I mean, it's just to feel that blast double. It's okay, man. That's a blast double, man.
So I feel offended you had to blast double me so hard, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, and he's not talking like, dude, match not over, man. And it's like, I'm gonna tech fall you right now. And then he starts putting points on. Yeah, for sure.
Man, well, all right, Jimmy, man. Unless you got any other questions for me, if you got anything coming up, you want to let the people know about, man. You want to shout out anybody? The floor is all yours.
Oh well, man. Well, first of all, thanks a lot for having me on your podcast. It was a lot of fun. And shout out to Gracie Baja Granby and Eric Laporte BJJ. If ever you guys want to look into him, he's got a couple nice instructionals on BJJ Fanatics. Help your gi game fundamentals and everything go up. And besides that, on my behalf, or might hope to see somebody if they listen in the competition or something. Come yap if you guys see me. Come talk. Be awesome. And next upcoming, I have a couple little competitions, and eventually it's going to be maybe ADCC next year.
Nice. Well, I wish you all the luck and all the best wishes, man. That everything happens for you and you flourish and you make it out there and kill it.
Well, thanks a lot, and good luck with your business. I'm sure it's going to go great, and your competition, good man, go get it. Good luck,
man. I appreciate it.
All right.
Well, that's the end of today's episode. I would like to thank Jimmy one more time for coming on the show and blessing us with his jiu-jitsu knowledge. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please go and follow our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to stay up to date on all future episodes. This has been Talk Your Jits podcast. Keep rolling, keep grinding, and remember, long live jiu-jitsu. Have a great day.